Welcome back. We all have different ways that we discipline students. This is my favorite question to ask students when they misbehave, and I'll explain why. And here's my favorite question. How would you discipline you if you were the teacher? In other words, if you are a student, how would you discipline yourself if you were the teacher? So the big thing here is the first thing you're addressing is the student is acknowledging they did something wrong. Now it's possible the student behaves like this at home and doesn't believe that the student has done anything wrong at this point. This is a chance for you to establish your rules and norms for your classroom. It also makes the student think about what they've done. So now the student is genuinely, when you ask the question, is genuinely considering what have I done and what does it warrant? The responses you get are terrific. I always enjoy having this conversation with students, especially those students who repeat making mistakes frequently. So it's a chance for you to pull them aside and say, hey, what do mom and dad do with you at home when this happens? Or what do other teachers do? And sometimes you'll get real genuine responses from the students that help out. Like I was speaking with two female students and I said, look, you can't continue to behave this way every day in class. And they smiled at me and said, you need to move us. They told me that I needed to move them as far as their seating chart goes. And I was like, okay, that's great feedback. I will make the adjustment. And they were mature enough to understand they needed to be moved away from each other. So my favorite question is, what would you do if you were the teacher and a student was behaving this way? Um, and sometimes you get some really, really great ideas having this conversation with the students. So keep that question in the back of your mind or even write it down by your desk is when you are having a student, especially one who's frustrating you, have a conversation, a private conversation with them outside the door and ask them what this this can't continue to happen all year. What would you do if you were the teacher to change the behavior? And usually they'll give you a genuine response, and sometimes it helps.